Leo, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of January. So we're already here in 2025. Before I jump into this is most applicable for your rising sign, which is how you are perceived by other people, especially when they first meet you. It's still applicable for your sun sign, which is how you express yourself. And then also your moon sign, which is how you process everything internally through that emotional lens. And so I don't know exactly what's going on with you because I'm definitely channeling something here. This is my second time trying to record the video. I'm very short of breath. And there's no reason for me to be short of breath. Not right now, not given the time of day. I mean, I ran this morning, but no, I shouldn't be this short of breath. So there might be something happening with you that you might want to take a look at that, because it almost feels like, because I can feel it in my chest, it feels like you've got something to say and you're not ready to say it. You're keeping something inside of you and it's physically manifesting in some sort of way. So I'm definitely getting a shortness of breath. Take that as it resonates. It's not going to be applicable for everybody, but I am highlighting it here because I took time in between my first recording of Leo and now, and I was fine and it's back. So it's definitely connected to you. So there's something that I'm picking up from your perspective. But jumping into the structure of this video and kind of leaving aside what I'm channeling, I'm going to break this down week by week, really highlighting here those significant transits, the major ones, and then also the significant ones. And so looking at Wednesday the 1st to Saturday the 4th, we do have a major transit happening on Thursday the 2nd at 10:24 p.m. Eastern Time. And this is Venus entering the sign of Pisces. Venus is the planet that rules relationships. It's all about harmony and balance. What do you love? What do you value? All these really positive aspects in life. And sitting in the sign of Pisces, I mean, this is all, what kind of hopes and dreams do you have? Really thinking as high level and as big as you want here. And so it's sitting in your house of transformation. Now, it is in that death and rebirth house, the 8th house, but that could be connected to your finances too, meaning the money that you earn. If you're married, it could be the spouse's money. This would definitely be money that's coming in, or even the debt that you pay that's going out. So there could be something connected to finances here as well. But there is a conjunction to the moon in Aquarius, which is how you feel about your significant other. So there could be something more connected to money, or it could be connected to changes that are taking place within the relationship, and really highlighting here what you love and what you value, meaning that you're going to get rid of things that just don't belong here anymore. That could be part of this transit as well. Venus will also square Uranus retrograde in Taurus, which means this transformation that's taking place, it's going to create obstacles and challenges to any kind of internal change that's happening in your career, meaning the way that you perceive your career. Are you all of a sudden not happy with your career or the direction that your life is going, or something connected to your public reputation? And so it's creating obstacles and challenges to those changes that are taking place, but it's more of you have these other changes that are happening here, because that is what's being highlighted. It's kind of these changes outside of you, where this Uranus retrograde in Taurus are the internal changes. So you can find a way to kind of navigate all of the transformation that's taking place. It just requires more effort. On Friday the 3rd, we have Mars retrograde in Leo, your sign, opposite Pluto in Aquarius. And so you might find yourself intentionally not taking any kind of action, or taking some sort of internal action. That's going to be opposite any kind of changes that are happening within your significant relationship. And so think of your marriage partner if you're married. Changes are happening there because that's where Pluto is sitting for the next roughly 20 years. And so there's an opposition. Either you're talking about holding back something versus making changes in a relationship. On Saturday the 4th, we'll have the Sun in Capricorn sextile Saturn in Pisces. And so the Sun in Capricorn is sitting in your house of daily routines. This is all about the things that you do on a regular basis, whatever your normal routine looks like, not kind of those one-off events that you go to, like holiday parties, things like that. Those are not part of your normal routine. And so there's something about the way that you're expressing yourself in your daily life that is coming across as very driven, very ambitious. And it's creating an opportunity for you to really work on these changes that are happening in your life, this transformation that is taking place, because there is a sextile to Saturn in Pisces on Saturday. So I like how that one's playing out. And then the next week here, so from Sunday the 5th to Saturday the 11th, we have, it looks like, two major transits that are taking place. And the first one happens on Monday, the 6th at 5:44 in the morning. And so we had Mars retrograde in your sign. Mars is now back into the sign of Cancer. And so this is going to impact the internal you. We would have went through this already. So really think back to maybe, I think it was October. I would have to go back and look at the dates. If I can remember it after I record this reading, I'll drop it down below. Otherwise, you would have experienced this Mars in Cancer energy before, but now it's retrograde, which means that you're keeping things to yourself. You might be keeping your feelings to yourself, anything subconscious you're just not willing to express right now or take any kind of action on. Mars retrograde can kind of be like a passive aggressive type of energy sitting in the sign of Cancer, but everything right now is very internal. So it's a lot of keeping things to yourself. Now that is going to easily flow with whatever you want to do to grow and expand who you are. That moon in Aries energy is going to easily flow with you keeping something here to yourself. So it could be that you're just trying to solidify everything internally before you start outwardly taking any kind of action or expressing it in some sort of way. Because this Mars retrograde will also trine Neptune in Pisces. And so when you think about what do you want to change in your life, this fully aligns as well. This is an easy flow of energy. There's no additional effort that you need to put into it. So it seems like the reason that you're really keeping things to yourself is because you're just not ready to express it. You're trying to get everything into a really good place before you start communicating or taking any kind of action here. This Mars retrograde in Cancer is opposite Pluto in Aquarius. And so if your relationship is changing in a way that allows you to be more open and more free with the conversation, because that's the Aquarius energy, you keeping something to yourself would be opposite this. But again, it's more of you're trying to almost get the clarity that you need, figure out exactly what it is that you want to accomplish before you start putting any kind of action behind it here. And then the same day that we have Mars retrograde into Cancer, we have Mercury in Sagittarius square Neptune in Pisces. And so there might be conversations that you're having related to children or your passion projects, hobbies, things like that, that create obstacles and challenges to whatever it is that you want to change in your life. Now, this is something that you can work through. I would say that it just requires more effort, but you're going to see as we get through the month that this is going to be highlighted a lot here. On Wednesday the 8th, we have another major transit happening here. So Mercury will enter the sign of Capricorn at 5:30 in the morning Eastern time. And so Mercury in Capricorn for you is impacting your daily routines. And so you might be having just normal conversations around your goals, what you're driven to accomplish here, whatever strategy you've put into place to go after those goals. That's all Capricorn energy. And that is easily going to blend with how you feel about your career. So I like how that's showing up. It also creates an opportunity for you to really focus on what you value and love about the changes that are taking place in your life. That even could be related to money as well, the money that you earn. It's creating an opportunity for you to maybe earn more money if that's what you value and that's what you're going after. Mercury in Capricorn will square Neptune in Pisces. And so there might be something where you're just not focused on the kind of overall goals and dreams that you have for this transformation or the money that you earn. It's more about putting those ideas down on paper, expressing them here with that Mercury energy. So either you're expressing it in some sort of way, verbally, through writing, could even be processing information because that's all Mercury energy. It's you're not in this kind of ethereal, dreamlike state because that's what Neptune and Pisces is all about. You're in this, how do we make that a reality? How do I make that dream come true? That's where you are right now. Also on Wednesday the 8th, we'll have the Sun in Capricorn square Chiron in Aries. And so again, when you think about the way that you're expressing yourself in your daily life, very driven, very goal-oriented, it is creating obstacles and challenges to healing some sort of wound that might be, I want to say stunting your growth, but there might be something here that's really preventing you from moving forward, going after a higher degree if that's what you're interested in, or some sort of, I'm trying to think of like a growth, if it's connected to your career and just something that you want to evolve into, there might be a wound connected to that, maybe along the lines of you don't think you have enough money to pursue a higher education, or you don't feel like you're smart enough to be able to do it. Whatever that wound is, whatever that is triggered, this is just saying you being very goal oriented right now and driven and expressing yourself that way in your daily life, it's just making it more difficult to heal that wound. It's more of trying to heal that wound right now is not the priority. And I'm going to highlight this here only because it's happening, but we'll get into it more as we actually get into the eclipse cycle. But on Saturday the 11th, we officially start the Pisces Virgo eclipse cycle. We did get a glimpse of this earlier back in 2024, the end of 2024, but we'll talk about it more as it happens. The next week of the month, so from Sunday the 12th to Saturday the 18th, we have one major transit happening. It's actually the full moon. But before we get to the full moon, on Sunday the 12th, we have Mars retrograde in Cancer, trine Neptune in Pisces. And so what's happening here on this day is that you're keeping your feelings to yourself. You're really internalizing everything here, and that's going to flow with whatever it is that you're trying to transform. This feels like it's a lot of inner work that's taking place for you with this Mars retrograde in Cancer energy. And so it's about navigating that change that's taking place and what changes need to occur within you. What kind of internal action do you need to take in order to get yourself on that path to be able to move forward? On Monday the 13th, before the full moon, we have the Sun in Capricorn trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And we'll see this actually show up again during the full moon. But what this means is the way that you're expressing yourself right now in your just daily life, it easily flows with whatever internal changes you want to go after in your career, or that might even just be happening in general in your career, because Uranus, it's kind of sudden. It would come out of nowhere. So it's more about removing obstacles that are in the way of you achieving the goal that you're going after. So think of it from that lens. And then later that day, so on Monday the 13th at 5:27 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll have the full moon in Cancer. And so for you, this is your daily life versus your inner self. And so you can already see right there how this is in opposition, because there's a lot of pieces inside of you that you're just not willing to express right now. We have the sun over here that does have you expressing yourself in a very driven, goal-oriented kind of way, versus that moon in Cancer, but it's also Mars retrograde in Cancer. So you are keeping your feelings to yourself, and that's in opposition. And because it's in opposition, Sun is opposite both the moon and Mars. The moon and Mars are in a conjunction with each other, which means that how you feel about yourself and wanting to keep things to yourself right now, that fully aligns. You're just not in a place where you're ready to express something here. And then during this full moon, we'll have the Sun in Capricorn trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so when you think about those changes that are happening within you relative to your career or your public reputation, both the Sun and the moon are actually having positive aspects to that. The way that you're expressing yourself in your daily life fully lines up with those changes that are happening in your career. How you feel about yourself on the inside creates an opportunity for even more changes to take place in your career. And it's really the way that you visualize your career, the way that you see yourself kind of evolving in that state, because these are internal changes here. And then we will have the Sun sextile Neptune in Pisces, which means the way that you're expressing yourself in your daily life is really giving you an opportunity to focus on what you want to do. So what do you want to change in your life, that house of transformation? This could be connected to the money that you earn. We are seeing a lot of 8th house and some 10th house showing up here. So it could be the changes that maybe are happening related to the money that you earn. So that could be highlighted here. And in fact, the way that you feel about yourself fully lines up with either the changes that are taking place or what you're trying to accomplish, from releasing the old to make room for more of the new, something like that, because that is the house of death and rebirth. So the way that this is playing out for you is really positive. That's not true for all the signs, but it's definitely positive for you. And during this full moon, we'll have the Sun in Capricorn conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. So when you think about these goals and just being very goal-oriented, very driven, that fully aligns with the changes that are happening in your significant relationship here. So in your marriage, if you're married, so that partnership there, versus how you feel on the inside would be opposite to the changes that are happening in that relationship. And again, because it's more of the internal you versus the external couple, it's that me versus we mentality. During this full moon, we'll actually have the sun and the moon form a T-square to Chiron in Aries. So thinking back to that wound that is showing up that might be preventing you from going after something related to your growth and expansion, the way that you're expressing yourself in your daily life, the way that you feel on the inside, these are both creating obstacles and challenges to healing that wound. And then we have the moon in Cancer trine Saturn in Pisces. And so the way that you feel on the inside really flows, easily flows with working on whatever it is that you're trying to change, whatever transformation you want to go through. This could even indicate money. So if it's related to the money that you earn, the way that you feel about yourself could easily flow with you earning more money at this time. And then on Tuesday the 14th, because that was on Monday, Tuesday the 14th, we'll have Venus in Pisces square Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so there's something here that you really love and value about what is changing, maybe related to the money that you earn. It's creating obstacles and challenges to any kind of growth that you're looking for in your friendships. And it's more of, you're not focused on those relationships, you're focused on what you're trying to accomplish for yourself. There's a lot of change that's happening around you. On the 15th, we'll have the sun in Capricorn opposite Mars retrograde in Cancer. And so the way that you're expressing yourself in your daily life, again, coming across is very driven, very goal-oriented here. It is opposite keeping your feelings to yourself. And so you can kind of see why. You're either keeping your feelings to yourself or you're expressing yourself. So that's the opposition. It's going to be one or the other. So just given the time of day, given the conversation, whatever's happening there, one is going to be more dominant than the other. And then on Friday the 17th, we'll have the sun in Capricorn sextile Neptune in Pisces. And so this ambitious self-expression, it's going to create an opportunity for you to really figure out exactly what you want to transform in your life. And so really thinking about all of those 8th house things, the money that you earn, any kind of death and rebirth. So releasing some of the old, getting rid of old habits or anything that might be holding you back in some sort of way to make room for something here that you really want to go after. Because on Saturday the 18th, we'll have Venus in Pisces conjunct Saturn in Pisces, which is in that house of transformation and the money that you earn. And so when you think about the day before, you're really thinking about, okay, this is what I want to accomplish. Okay, well, within that, what do you love and value? And then how do you work to kind of enhance that more? Because that's the energy that's coming through on Saturday. It is about your goals and your dreams, and it's about working on and kind of doing something more with what you love and value. And then the next week, so from Sunday the 19th to Saturday the 25th, we have our first transit of that week. And I think that's, I don't know why I keep getting this one confused. It's just this one. So on Sunday the 19th, we'll have the sun enter Aquarius. But prior to that, we'll have Mercury in Capricorn sextile Saturn in Pisces. And so these would be very goal-oriented, driven conversations that you're having in your regular life, in your daily life. And that's creating an opportunity for you to really work on whatever it is that you're trying to transform here. Again, could be related to money because we're seeing Saturn in Pisces in your 8th house. So this literally could relate to earning money. On the same day, Mercury will also sextile Venus in Pisces. And so it's highlighting what you love, what you value about what you're trying to transform here. And so I like how this is playing out because it's really taking this energy from a few days ago and it's spilling into the next week. So something that you've been doing pretty much all weekend, it's going to continue. And then with the sun entering Aquarius, so this is sitting in your 7th house, and this indicates that the way that you're expressing yourself with your significant other, it's coming across in a way that is very different than what you're used to. This is very liberating, out of the box, outside of your normal kind of mode of operation here. And that is going to easily blend with whatever changes are taking place. So it feels like there's a lot of change that's occurring within your marriage or in this significant relationship. And if you're not married or you're not in a long-term relationship, these would be those really close interpersonal relationships that you have. So really think of the people that you're just very close to. It would be impacting those relationships. So there's changes that are happening there, and the way that you're expressing yourself fully lines up. This sun in Aquarius will also trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so the way that you're expressing yourself in those relationships or in that one relationship easily flows with whatever changes are occurring in your career or your public reputation. It will also trine the moon in Libra. And so the way that you're expressing yourself and how you feel about it all, it feels very balanced. It feels very harmonious. Like this is something that you really want. It's like a freeing type of energy that you've been looking for, you're getting. So I like how that's playing out for you. The sun will sextile Neptune in Pisces. And so it's creating an opportunity for you to really focus on what it is that you're trying to accomplish, whether it's the money that you earn or it's that death and rebirth. What are you trying to transform in your life? It's really giving you an opportunity here to figure that all out and really focus on that. Where it is opposite is you. So that sun in Aquarius, because it's the way you're expressing yourself in those interpersonal relationships, that significant relationship here, it's going to be opposite you keeping your feelings to yourself or taking some sort of internal action here. And then on Tuesday, the 21st, we have a few things happening. So the first one is Mercury in Capricorn square Chiron in Aries. And so these kind of goal-oriented conversations that you're having in your daily life, they're just creating obstacles and challenges to healing that wound that's preventing your growth in some sort of way. Again, you can work with the energy. It's a square. It just requires more effort on your part. We'll also have the sun in Aquarius conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. So we saw this when the sun entered the sign of Aquarius, but now the two are becoming exact. So the energy here is really strong between these two. So the way that you're expressing yourself fully aligns with whatever changes are happening in your significant relationship here or significant relationships. And then on Thursday, the 23rd, we have Mars retrograde in Cancer, sextile Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so keeping your feelings to yourself, it's creating an opportunity for you to really maybe look at your career differently, your public reputation, because that would be an internal change. It's an opportunity you would have to take advantage of, but it is giving you this opportunity. There's something about keeping things to yourself that is really opening you up to see things differently. This Mercury in Capricorn, also on the 23rd, will be opposite Mars retrograde in Cancer. And so these conversations that you're having in your daily life, they are going to be opposite you keeping something here to yourself. But that something you're keeping to yourself is giving you the clarity or way of seeing your career differently. So you can kind of see how all of this plays together. And so also on the 23rd, we'll have Mercury in Capricorn trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus, because you can see throughout the day we've got these planets being highlighted here. So whatever conversations that you're having in your daily life around your goals and being driven, that is going to easily flow with the way that you're viewing your career or public reputation, those changes that are taking place. These are internal changes. On Saturday, the 25th, we'll have Venus in Pisces trine Mars retrograde in Cancer. And so when you think about what you love and what you value and what you're trying to change in your life so you can put more emphasis on that, it's going to easily blend with you keeping your feelings to yourself. And it's more along the lines of you're still trying to wrap your head around, or probably trying to wrap your head around, what all of this change looks like. How do you fully embrace it? And what does this mean for you go forward? So I like how that one's playing out. And then the last week of the month, we have 3 major transits taking place. And let me tell you, this the end of the month here, there's a lot. So on Sunday, the 26th, we have Mercury in Capricorn sextile Neptune in Pisces. And so having these kind of goal-oriented or driven types of conversations in your daily life, it's creating an opportunity for you to really focus on that house of death and rebirth, or maybe the money that you earn. And so I like how that plays out. Also on the 26th, on Sunday, we'll have Venus in Pisces sextile Uranus in Taurus. And so again, thinking about that house of transformation or what you love, or Venus is what you love, the house of transformation or the money that you earn. That's what I meant to say. Really focusing here on that aspect of it, it's creating an opportunity for more change to occur in your career. So you can kind of see how conversations are leading to maybe changes related to something in your life. It could be connected to the money that you earn, could be connected to the way that you see your career, especially if you plan to like grow and enhance it in some sort of way. These are opportunities you're going to have to take advantage of. They're not just going to organically happen. And then on Monday, the 27th, we'll have Mercury enter the sign of Aquarius. And so we're actually going to be with a lot of Aquarius energy, a lot of transformation now through the end of the month. And so Mercury in Aquarius is sitting in your 7th house. So these would be conversations that you're having with your significant other or those close relationships. These are all liberating types of conversations. Aquarius wants to break the mold. It wants to step out of your comfort zone, do things in unconventional ways, not be so restricted or limited in the types of conversations that you're having, because this is really, it's not just about the way that you're expressing yourself, it's the content of the conversations. And in fact, it fully aligns with whatever changes are taking place in your relationship with your significant other or those kind of interpersonal relationships, because Mercury is going to be conjunct the Sun and Pluto at this time. It's also going to conjunct the Moon in Capricorn. So how you feel about your daily life and what you're trying to accomplish in your daily life also lines up with these liberating kinds of conversations that you're having with your significant other. Mercury will also trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so these conversations will also easily flow with whatever changes are happening relative to your career or public reputation. These conversations will create an opportunity for you to really focus on what it is that you're trying to transform. What is it that you need to do away with? What is it that you want to go after more? It's that death and rebirth. Is there something connected to the money that you earn? Maybe even your partner's money. It doesn't necessarily have to be yours. This would be income that's earned coming in from some sort of employer or outside source. The only challenging aspect here would be Mercury opposite Mars retrograde in Cancer. So again, when you think about you're having conversations with your significant other versus you're keeping your feelings to yourself, that's the opposition. On Wednesday, the 29th, we'll have the new moon in Aquarius. And so again, all sitting in your 7th house. So this is the sun and the moon at the same degree point in the sky. So easy overlap of energies here, really highlighting the way that you're communicating with your partner feels really good. The way that you're expressing yourself, fully in alignment here with feeling free and open to maybe say whatever it is that you want to say, because it's not just the sun and the moon that are in a conjunction. We've got the sun, moon, Mercury, and Pluto all in Aquarius, all sitting in your 7th house. So this is a lot of conversation, a lot of freeing, liberating, feeling good about all of the changes that are taking place with that Pluto energy, all things that are meant to improve the relationship here. Get rid of all the baggage, get rid of all the stuff that's weighing you down and just holding you back in some sort of way, because that's what Pluto wants to do here. So I like how this new moon is playing out for you and the positive impact it's having on your relationship here. And then we have the sun and moon trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so when you think about the relationships outside of your partner, the way that you're expressing yourself with your partner, the way that you feel about that connection and that person, that's going to easily blend with whatever internal growth you're looking for relative to your friendships. So maybe I'll break that down a little bit differently, or say it a little bit differently. You want to grow and expand your friendships. You want to improve the connections that you have with these people and the collective. It's not the individual relationships, it's the collective. And so you're really taking the lessons that you're learning from your significant other, the way that you're interacting with this person now, and you're going to be able to apply it to those other relationships in your life, because those are significant relationships too, just in a different way. And so it's allowing for some sort of inner growth because of the way that you're communicating with your spouse or significant other. So I like how that plays out. And then later in the day, we'll have Mercury in a closer conjunction with Pluto. So again, more kinds of liberating conversations. I mean, that's really, this new moon in Aquarius is a lot of breaking free, communicating differently, very unconventional, or at least what you're used to with this person. And then on Thursday, the 30th, we have Uranus station direct in Taurus. And so Uranus is one of those planets of transformation. This one is sudden transformation, sitting in the sign of Taurus. This is in your house of career and public reputation. So all those changes in maybe the way that you were seeing your career or public reputation, all of that you've been learning while Uranus has been retrograde, you can now apply, or will be applied, I should say, because this is really the universe intervening here, to make changes outside of you as it relates to your career and public reputation. So what you've learned can now be reflected on the outside. Everything always starts on the inside before it gets reflected out. So that's what's happening here. And so when Uranus does station direct in the sign of Taurus, it's going to sextile Mars retrograde in Cancer. So it's going to create an opportunity for you to keep things to yourself. It's more because there's changes that are happening in your career or public reputation. And so this is an opportunity that if you want to keep something to yourself until you're solid on what it is that you want to communicate or any kind of action that you want to take, now would be the time. It's also going to create an opportunity for you to really focus on putting some sort of effort and energy into transforming something else in your life. Think of that 8th house energy. This could be related to the money that you earn. This could be related to other change that's taking place. What do you love? What do you value? What do you want to work towards? So all of that is showing up here. Uranus will square the moon in Aquarius. And so whatever changes are happening in your career sector, it's creating obstacles and challenges to how you feel about your marriage or your significant other here. But it's more of there's all of this other change that's taking place. It's like one at a time. It's just creating obstacles and challenges here, but you can find a way to work with all this energy. That one doesn't feel that significant. And then the moon does move really fast, so it's not going to be here for long anyway. And then also on the 30th, we'll have the sun trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so these kind of liberating conversations or the way that you're expressing yourself with your significant other, it's going to easily flow with whatever growth you're looking for in your friendships, in those relationships here. So really your relationship with the one helps with the collective. So Leo, this is your reading. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.